So guys, we got an official leak to talk about. Very interesting, worth knowing about. But first, here is a look at the Guangzhou Auto Show Onvo booth. So Onvo booth, they got the Onvo cars there, and they also have a NIO swap station there. Very cool. And of course, hopefully this can generate a lot of sales going forward. But of course, what is that official leak? It is none other than a ET9 battery leak, but this really raises an interesting question. So according to regulatory filings, the ET9 will also come with a 102 kilowatt hour battery pack, which gives it 620 or 650 kilometers of range, CLTC, according to the wheel size. This is very interesting because this shows that, when they launched this car, NIO said it's going to come with a 120 kilowatt hour battery pack. And now you also have a 102 kilowatt hour battery pack. And the person that shared this, and he, by the way, is the biggest NIO content creator in China. His name is Yu Mao Ge. He actually said in the Chinese on top, he said, "I hope this is just it and there won't be even more battery packs." And he's not too sure if ET9 will have an ultra long range battery pack. To be honest, 20 kilowatt hour difference, actually 18 kilowatt hour difference, doesn't seem like that big of a gap. Is it really necessary for them to even have a 102 kilowatt hour battery pack when they have the 120, right? And this really pushes us into the question, why does he say, "I hope that this is it"? He's saying that because right now, there's so many different types of batteries, all right? And the biggest challenge going forward is having all these batteries in the swap station and not having the situation where if you go to a swap station, that swap station has batteries fully charged, but not your type of battery. That's what you want to avoid. For example, the classic example right now, all right, the 150 kilowatt hour semi-solid state battery pack. It offers an extremely good upgrade. Temporary rental. I can rent it for a week and I can double my range. Absolutely fantastic. All right. But going with that battery, you lose the convenience factor of battery swap. What do I mean by that? Here, I'll show you the NIO swapping map as of right now. All right, just before recording this video. You can see there's a ton of swap stations in Beijing that have all the batteries. But if you filter out only for 150 kilowatt hour battery packs, you can tell that there aren't any in Beijing. All right. The closest one is in Tianjin, which is 120 kilometers away. And the second closest one is 180 kilometers away to get that 150 kilowatt hour battery pack. So if you swap into that, which is amazing that you can even do it, all right, you're going to lose the convenience factor, meaning that wherever you go, the swap station will most likely not have a 150 for you to swap into, all right? So you'll have to charge, or in this case, I think for most people, they're just going to swap into the 150, get to where they need to go to, and then swap into a 75 or swap into a 100, okay? And so, that, and also if you are going into like the desert or somewhere really remote, charging infrastructure isn't really there, the 150 will be perfect. And so, in the essence, this really satisfies the need of, this rare use case, and having the 150 is perfect. But once again, we're getting back to the problem. Not all swap stations will have that battery pack. And then you're introducing two additional battery varieties, okay? The 102 kilowatt hour battery pack, that's 900 volt, mind you. And then the 120 kilowatt hour battery pack, which is also 900 volt, mind you. That is not compatible with existing NIOs like the NIO that I'm in, which have 400 volt batteries. All right, yeah. So it's a situation where you have a ton of different battery varieties, And NT 3.0 is definitely going to be 900 volts. So you're going to have those 900 volt batteries. And on top of that, you also have Onvo battery packs. So let me make this clear, all right? In the swap stations, you're going to have the 75, which is the battery that I have. You're going to have the 100, and both of these are 400 volts. You're going to have the Onvo's 60 kilowatt hour battery pack. You're going to have the Onvo's 80 kilowatt hour battery pack. So that's already 4 different battery varieties. And then on top of that, Onvo is rumored to also have a 100, well, we know for a fact that it will have an ultra long range 100 kilowatt hour battery pack. So very soon you're going to have those 5 battery packs. And then on top of that, the ET9's 102, that puts it up to 6. And then you have the ET9's 120, puts it up to 7. And then if you count the 150 semi-solid state battery pack, that puts it up to 8. So, you have a whole lot of batteries into the swap stations. And this is the biggest challenge going forward. And of course, with NIO's patents, we saw those patents where NIO got approved for a multi-bay swap where they got 3 swap bays, and it's like a double layer parking lot almost swap station. And so they're in the future going forward, their swap stations are definitely going to have massive amounts of battery bay capacity to store all the different battery packs. And their vision is definitely to have swap stations replace gas stations. And the solution to this problem is, of course, to have more swap stations. This swap station will have 4 battery types. The swap station right next to it will have the other 4 battery types. So this will also solve this problem going forward. But you do see the issue, right? You kind of don't want to have that many battery types, right? And me too. Like, I also kind of agree. Like, man, like you're gonna have a situation where if you have that many battery varieties, the battery variety that you care about won't have that many in the station. All right. So if there's 22 slots of available compartments for the battery, and then there's like 4 different types of batteries inside the swap station, that means for each type you can only have like maybe 5 or 6. All right. And yeah, that might be sufficient for most people, but obviously, proportionally, there's more NIO owners with the 1st gen and 2nd gen 400 volt batteries, so they're probably going to allocate more. But you get my point. You're always going to have this headache going forward where you're like, man, I hope that swap station has more of my battery type. So this is definitely a very interesting leak. I think it's not necessary for them to have a 102 kilowatt hour battery pack. Maybe, I mean, it is quite important for NIO to have upgradability, right, for the batteries. You want more range? Sure, you get more range. But 18 kilowatt hour difference in range, that's not a whole lot, right? That's not a big jump forward. And I understand that going forward, the other cars, the other NT 3.0 cars, ES8s, the 3rd gen ES7, the 3rd gen ET6, which are all rumored to come out very soon, I understand that these cars will need a entry-level battery pack, like a 102 kilowatt hour battery pack. So I understand the need for that, but I am a little bit frustrated. Like, I hope NIO can really solve this problem. There's so many battery packs. And yeah, I mean, first, you just have to look at the 150, man. Like, they don't even have one in Beijing. Like, I want to, like, borrow one for a road trip, and that would be amazing. Double my range. But they don't even have one in Beijing. And I'm not going to drive 120 kilometers just to upgrade my battery. So, yeah, you do lose out on the convenience factor when you have, like, all these, like, different battery varieties. But at the end of the day, it makes sense. it does make sense to go this route. You do have to provide all the different battery varieties for all the different car models available. It's just like gas stations. They don't just have one type of gasoline. They have all sorts of types of gasolines. So I think they're going to solve this problem down the line, but this is a big challenge for them. So very interesting leak. Hopefully, fingers crossed. I know for a fact that they know about this, right? NIO knows about this. And I think Gen 5 swap stations might have like even more battery compartments. It might be the multi-bay swap that we saw in the patents. So we'll have to see going forward. Definitely a very interesting period of time for NIO. And that's the biggest test for battery swap. Can it function when you have all these batteries, different battery varieties that you have to deal with? You have to allocate. You got to proportion it accurately. You can't have too many of these types of battery when you don't have that many car owners that use those types of batteries. So you got to proportion it well. But yeah, as always, stay safe, stay healthy. Peace out.